Buckingham Palace has said King Charles spent a short period of time in hospital today after experiencing the temporary side effects of his cancer treatment. Buckingham Palace has shared updates about King Charles's health before, but this time the shocking news didn't come from the palace. It came straight from Prince William. While the king has been quietly undergoing treatment for prostate issues and a cancer diagnosis, the royal family has largely kept the details under wraps. But now, in a move that's left the public reeling, Prince William confirmed the most heartbreaking update yet. So, what exactly did he reveal, and why is this sending shock waves across the country? Stick with us as we break down this tragic health news. The truth about King Charles's condition is finally out. Though the news isn't completely unexpected, it marks a painful chapter for the royal family. There are new bombshell claims today from royal insiders who say King Charles's cancer is incurable and he will likely die with the disease, balancing public duties with private struggles. As King Charles steps back from certain responsibilities, questions are mounting about the timeline of his condition and what this could mean for the future of the monarchy. Concerns over the king's health aren't new. Let's rewind and take a closer look at his medical journey to understand how it led to this moment. In his youth, King Charles was generally described as active and healthy, spending time riding, playing sports, and attending public events. But in 1998, during a routine engagement, he started experiencing discomfort in his right knee. Not shocking, given years of horseback riding and polo. Those close to him noticed he'd sometimes WSC during long walks or official appearances. By March 1998, doctors recommended a minor procedure to fix the issue, a laser keyhole operation, also known as arthroscopic surgery. It was routine, minimally invasive, and common for athletes or anyone with joint wear. The surgery went smoothly, and Charles recovered quickly. Yet, it was the first time the public got a glimpse into his private health concerns. Fast forward a few years to 2003, and Charles faced another challenge. During a public appearance, observers noticed him moving gingerly and sometimes pressing his hand to his abdomen. The reason, a hernia had developed, likely from physical strain. Despite the discomfort, he pushed through his engagements until it was time for surgery. In March that year, he was admitted to King Edward's Hospital, a royal family medical hub. The operation was straightforward, lasting only a few hours. Charles stayed overnight for observation and left the next day, reportedly in good spirits, even joking with the medical staff. However, that was just the beginning. The years that followed brought a series of unexpected and concerning health challenges for King Charles. By 2008, he faced another minor health issue, this time on his face. Close-up photographs at public events revealed a small blemish on his nose. Eventually, it was removed at a London clinic, and the palace confirmed it was a non-cancerous growth. While the surgery was minor, it served as a reminder that even royalty isn't immune to ordinary health problems. The growth was successfully removed without complications, and within days, Charles was back at work, appearing at public functions with a small bandage that sparked more media curiosity than real concern. Physical injuries, however, were far from new to the king. His lifelong passion for polo and horse riding carried risks over the years. He endured several accidents on the field, most notably falls, that briefly knocked him unconscious. Polo, while elegant, is a contact sport played at high speed, and Charles was known for his fierce competitiveness. During one match, he was reportedly thrown off his horse after a collision, resulting in a head injury that required medical attention. In another, he suffered bruised ribs and a sprained arm. Yet despite these incidents, he continued to play well into middle age. Fortunately, none of these falls caused lasting neurological damage. These episodes made it clear Charles was willing to endure pain to uphold his duties and royal tradition. Fast forward to the pandemic years, and the king faced another health test. During the height of COVID-19, it was announced that he had tested positive for the virus. Given his age, there was genuine public concern. Reports indicated, however, that his symptoms were mild and he remained isolated at his Scottish home. Remarkably, he continued virtual meetings and even joined online royal engagements while recovering. Those close to him said he was frustrated by the enforced rest, but remained disciplined following medical advice to the letter. Then came 2024, a year that completely changed how he approached his health. In January, Buckingham Palace released a statement announcing that the king would undergo treatment for an enlarged prostate. The announcement stood out because the royal family rarely shares such intimate personal details. The palace reassured the public that it was a benign condition, a common issue among older men, and that the king was in expert hands. He was admitted to the London clinic on January 26th, where the procedure was carried out successfully. Within days, he was discharged and reportedly recovering well. But then, just weeks later, another announcement shocked the world. In February 2024, the palace revealed a shocking twist. While King Charles was being treated for the prostate condition, doctors discovered a separate serious issue. Further tests confirmed it was a form of cancer, not prostate cancer. The diagnosis stunned both the public and royal watchers, especially since Charles had appeared energetic at recent events. Buckingham Palace announced that he would be suspending certain public duties while beginning a schedule of treatments. Though the palace shared no specific details, it was clear that the monarch was facing a major health battle. From that moment on, Charles's daily routine shifted dramatically. He started regular cancer treatment, the exact nature of which was never fully disclosed, though speculation pointed to radiation or chemotherapy. His workload was trimmed with advisors managing his schedule around medical appointments. Despite this, he continued to read and sign state papers, attend private meetings, and even maintain his weekly audience with the Prime Minister by March 2025. After more than a year of managing the illness, the king was admitted briefly to the hospital again. This admission was described as a precautionary step after he experienced temporary side effects from treatment. Buckingham Palace downplayed concerns, calling it a small bump in the road. His stay was short, lasting only a few days, after which he resumed light duties. What stood out during this period was how openly the king and palace addressed his health, breaking with centuries of royal tradition. Historically, the British monarchy kept health matters secret. Details about past monarchs' illnesses were often hidden until after their deaths. But now, King Charles has reportedly made a personal wish, one that could influence the monarchy's future. What exactly is in this wish, and why is it surfacing at such a delicate moment? We've got the answers. King Charles, now 76, while managing ongoing health challenges, has reportedly made a few personal requests. Buckingham Palace hasn't confirmed the full details, but it wouldn't be unusual for a monarch to do so. Previous kings and queens did the same, leaving instructions about how things should continue after them. Some focused on duty, some on family, but all revealed what mattered most. Queen Victoria, for example, was one of the first to leave such a wish before her death in 1901, giving clear instructions about her legacy. She wanted to be buried as a soldier's daughter, dressed in white, not black. Her wedding veil was to be placed over her face alongside pictures of her beloved husband, Prince Albert, in her coffin. To her, it wasn't about pomp or ceremony. It was about love, duty, and being remembered as a woman who stood firmly by her family. That powerful wish shaped royal traditions for years, leaving a legacy of loyalty and personal devotion that endured long after her death. King George V also made his wishes known near the end of his life. He wanted the monarchy to stay close to the people and to feel truly British, especially after the turmoil of World War I. He even changed the royal family's name from Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to Windsor to remove its German sound. Before his death, he told those closest to him that the monarchy must always remain connected to the public. His wish was simple but profound: keep the crown grounded in service. Then came his son, George VI, who never expected to become king when his brother abdicated the throne. George stepped in and spent his short reign restoring trust and stability to the monarchy. Before he died in 1952, he advised his daughter, then Princess Elizabeth, to remain strong and steady, to lead with calm and never be swayed by politics or noise. His wish was honored. Elizabeth's reign became one of the longest and most stable in British history. If King Charles were to leave a similar wish, it might not stray far from what the royal family is already pursuing. His focus has consistently been on modernization, balance, and unity. Each member already plays a vital role in that vision. For Prince William, his responsibilities are already clear. He is stepping deeper into royal duties, gradually taking on more of his father's responsibilities. William often represents the king at major events both in the UK and abroad, and his main focus remains on the environment and social causes. Through his Earthshot Prize, he champions projects that protect the planet while also staying active in campaigns for mental health, homelessness, and youth development. William has become the face of a younger modern monarchy, more approachable, empathetic, and attuned to today's issues. If the king were to make a wish, it would almost certainly include that William continues in this path, leading with empathy and keeping the crown close to the people. But Prince William isn't the only royal shaping the monarchy's future. His wife, Princess Catherine, has emerged as a strong, steady presence at his side. If King Charles truly made a wish for the family's path forward, there's no doubt it would include her pivotal role, ensuring that love, duty, and stability remain at the heart of the modern monarchy. So, what might the king hope for Princess Catherine, the future queen? Let's take a closer look. Catherine's work has become incredibly important. She has built a calm, reliable image, balancing her public role with being a devoted mother. Her main focus is early childhood development. She believes that supporting children in their formative years can prevent problems later in life. Her Shaping Us campaign is a central part of this mission. Catherine visits schools, meets parents, and collaborates with health experts. Over time, she has also taken on more military and ceremonial duties, holding several honorary titles and appearing more prominently at royal events. It's clear she's steadily preparing for her future role as queen consort. Princess Anne continues to be one of the hardest working royals. She rarely dominates headlines, but she carries a massive part of the royal workload. Every year, she attends hundreds of public events, often more than anyone else in the family. She champions causes related to health, farming, and education. Her experience and practical nature make her an invaluable advisor to both the king and Prince William. If the king were to leave a wish, It would almost certainly include Anne as the steady hand of the family, the one who keeps things grounded and running smoothly. Then there's Queen Camilla. Her journey has been long and complicated, but over time she has earned public respect. She has dedicated herself to a wide range of charity work, from literacy programs to campaigns against domestic violence. Her presence beside the king has given him stability, and she's proven strong under pressure while remaining part of the natural order of the monarchy. Her role will evolve over time. When the moment comes, she may take the title of Queen Dowager, stepping back from the spotlight while still offering guidance. A thoughtful wish from the king would likely include Camilla continuing as a source of wisdom and support for William and Catherine, helping them carry forward the royal legacy. Of course, no discussion of the royal family is complete without mentioning Prince Harry. Since stepping back from royal duties in 2020, he has built a life in the United States with his wife Meghan Markle and their children. He continues to lead projects like the Invictus Games for wounded veterans and other charitable efforts, though his relationship with the royal family remains tense. Despite everything, Harry is still a counselor of state, meaning he could legally act on behalf of the king if needed. While that's unlikely, it's a clear reminder that he remains tied to the institution, whether he fully embraces it or not. If the king were ever to put his thoughts into words, it's easy to imagine that he would want Harry and his family to find their way back in some form, maybe not as full-time working royals, but in a role that allows them to reconnect without conflict. King Charles has often spoken about the importance of family and reconciliation. A wish for peace between his sons wouldn't be surprising at all, but it's still unclear whether Prince Harry even wants to return to royal life. In a recent interview, he opened up once again about the deep tensions within the family, revelations that many believe lie at the heart of his decision to step away. His words painted a picture of hurt, mistrust, and a longing for independence. So, what really caused the rift? And why does Harry seem so determined to build a life far from the palace? Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover the intense conflict that changed everything, and why it may keep Harry from ever returning to royal duties. What drove Prince Harry away? His conflict started long before the world understood its depth. It all began in 2016, when news broke that he was dating Meghan Markle. At first, it looked like a normal royal romance, but behind the smiles, tension was building. Meghan was different from the women the royal family usually welcomed. She was an American actress, divorced, outspoken, and to some in the palace that raised serious questions about how she would fit in. The British press made things even worse. Some tabloids ran racist headlines and dug into her past, painting her as an outsider. Harry saw the tone early and recognized it as unfair, both in the media and inside the palace. Rumors circulated, and concerns about her background added fuel to the fire. Then Harry did something no one expected. In November 2016, he released a public statement confirming Meghan was his girlfriend and calling out the media for their treatment of her. It broke royal tradition, the never complain, never explain rule, but Harry felt he had to stand up. When Harry and Meghan married in May 2018, the world celebrated it as a sign of change. Yet the media attacks continued, and according to Harry, it reminded him painfully of how his mother, Princess Diana, had been treated. He began to fear history repeating itself. Things got worse when Meghan became pregnant with their first child, Archie. In their 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan revealed that during her pregnancy, there were concerns and conversations within the royal family about how dark Archie's skin might be. She also revealed that there were discussions about whether Archie would receive a royal title or even full security protection. For Harry and Meghan, these talks felt deeply hurtful and isolating. When Oprah asked who had made the comment, they refused to name the person, but just the accusation alone ignited a massive public uproar. The palace responded briefly, saying that recollections may vary, but by then the damage was done. Trust between Harry, Meghan, and the rest of the family had already started to crumble. By late 2019, Meghan's mental health had suffered significantly. She later admitted feeling isolated, hopeless, and even having suicidal thoughts. At one point, she tried to seek help, but was told it could reflect badly on the royal family. Harry, having grown up witnessing how his mother's struggles were treated, was terrified. He began speaking more openly about the immense pressure they were under. In January 2020, the couple dropped a bombshell announcement. They were stepping back from their royal duties. The news hit the world like a shock wave. The Queen quickly called a family meeting at Sandringham to discuss what the media later dubbed Megxit. Harry, Meghan, Prince Charles, and Prince William all attended. The meeting was tense but civil. Harry explained they wanted a simpler life away from constant media intrusion. The family agreed that the couple could split their time between the UK and North America, while working toward financial independence. On paper, it seemed like a reasonable solution, but in reality, it changed everything. Shortly after, Harry and Meghan relocated first to Canada and then to California, giving up many of their official royal roles and funding. In March 2021, they sat down for their now famous interview with Oprah Winfrey, speaking candidly for the first time about the forces that had driven them away. Then came 2023, and Harry's memoir, Spare, hit the shelves. He shared deeply personal stories from losing his mother to the intense strain in his relationship with Prince William. He claimed that William had once physically attacked him during an argument about Meghan, and wrote about often feeling overshadowed by his brother's position as heir. The memoir, along with the couple's Netflix documentary, reopened old wounds. For Harry, it was his chance to tell his story, but for the royal family, it felt like another very public blow. Meanwhile, Harry's battle over security in the UK escalated. After stepping back, the British government decided he would no longer automatically receive state-funded police protection. Instead, his safety would be reviewed case by case by a committee called RAVC. In 2022, he filed a lawsuit against the UK Home Office, claiming that removing his full security detail was unfair. He argued that RAVC treated him differently from others who had stepped away from public duties, adding another layer of tension to his already strained ties with the royal family. The case dragged on for almost 2 years, capturing intense public attention. In February 2024, the High Court ruled against Harry. The judge acknowledged that his concerns were genuine, but ultimately stated that the government had acted within the law. Harry expressed his disappointment, saying the decision meant he couldn't safely bring his wife and children to the UK. Still unsatisfied, he appealed, hoping the Court of Appeal would side with him, but in May 2025, his appeal was dismissed. The judges noted they understood his fears, but agreed that the government's approach was reasonable. For Harry, it felt like another personal rejection from the country he was born into, adding tension to an already fraught situation. At the same time, Harry had been waging a long battle against the British tabloids. He blamed them for the constant invasion of his privacy, and even for contributing indirectly to his mother's tragic death. He filed multiple lawsuits against major newspaper groups, accusing them of hacking his phone and hiring private investigators to dig into his personal life. In December 2023, he won a major case against the Mirror Group, with the court confirming that journalists had illegally gathered his private information. He was awarded damages, and other outlets later settled similar claims. Despite these legal victories, it remains uncertain whether Harry and Meghan will reconsider returning to the UK, especially now as King Charles faces serious health challenges and continues to call for family reconciliation. Public opinion is divided, and questions about the monarchy's future are growing. Is the king still fit to carry out his duties? Could he soon hand over power to Prince William, who has already taken on many royal responsibilities? And if so, how likely is that? Has anything like this ever happened before in royal history? Keep watching, because we're about to explore what the past reveals about the crown's future. Technically, it is possible for a king or queen to give up the throne while still alive. The law allows it, but it's not simple. A monarch cannot unilaterally step down. Parliament must agree and pass legislation to make it official. This is because the monarchy is part of the country's constitution, and every step must follow proper legal procedure. The clearest historical example occurred in 1936, when King Edward Roman VIII chose to leave the throne. His case demonstrates that abdication is possible, but it must be legally sanctioned by Parliament. Edward wanted to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorce twice divorced. The government and the Church of England opposed the union, fearing a constitutional crisis. Edward chose to step down from the throne, a historic and dramatic decision. He signed a declaration, formally giving up his position. But the paper alone wasn't enough. Parliament had to pass a law known as His Majesty's Declaration of Abdication Act 1936 to make it official. That act not only legalized his abdication, but also allowed his brother George VI to become king. The decision had to be recognized across other countries sharing the same monarch, including Canada and Australia. This moment showed that abdication is possible, but only if Parliament formally approves it. Sometimes a monarch may not want to step down, yet is unable to carry out all duties due to health or travel. In such cases, the law provides tools for others to act temporarily using mechanisms like the Regency Acts or Councillors of State. These legal tools allow other members of the royal family to manage official duties when the monarch cannot. It is not the same as giving up the throne. It simply ensures that government and royal responsibilities continue smoothly. Several laws govern these processes to maintain order. The 1936 Abdication Act provided the framework for Edward's resignation. The Regency Acts cover situations where the monarch is too young or too ill to rule. Letters patent signed by the monarch designate councillors of state who can act in their stead. Together, these rules guarantee that someone is always in place to handle royal duties, ensuring the monarchy never pauses, even during crisis. Importantly, only Parliament has the authority to change who the monarch is. When a new king or queen takes the throne, there is both a legal and ceremonial process. The successor becomes monarch the moment the previous ruler dies or abdicates. The coronation that follows is a symbolic religious service where the Archbishop of Canterbury places the crown on the new monarch's head. This centuries-old tradition celebrates the monarchy, but does not itself create the new ruler. The real moment of change happens instantly when the throne becomes vacant. It is crucial to understand that accession and coronation are not the same thing. Accession occurs automatically upon the previous monarch's death or abdication. Coronation, on the other hand, is a formal ceremonial confirmation. For example, King Charles became monarch the moment Queen Elizabeth Roman II passed away. His coronation months later was simply a public and religious event confirming what had already occurred. Likewise, if a monarch abdicates, the successor becomes king or queen immediately, ensuring continuity of the crown without delay or disruption. The coronation would happen later, but it does not create kingship on its own if a living monarch wanted to hand over power completely. Parliament must be involved to make it official, just like it was with Edward in 1936. A monarch can sign a declaration saying they want to abdicate, but that alone is never enough. If the issue is health-related, abdication is rarely the first choice. The usual solution is to allow councillors of state or a regent to act on behalf of the monarch. This keeps the system stable, avoids political complications, and ensures the monarchy continues without interruption. Queen Elizabeth used this method many times when she could not attend engagements with senior royals like Prince Charles handling her duties seamlessly. The same system is still in place today. It allows the monarch to remain on the throne while others step in temporarily. Looking at King Charles and Prince William, it is legally possible for Charles to abdicate if he wanted to. But in reality, this is very unlikely. If he ever did choose to step down, Parliament would need to pass a new Abdication Act just like in 1936. Right now, Buckingham Palace prefers to rely on councillors of state. During Charles's recent health struggles, Prince William and Queen Camilla have taken on many of his public responsibilities. This approach is fully legal and ensures royal duties continue smoothly without disruption. Some wonder if William would perform better as king, and the answer is subjective. However, some facts stand out. William is younger, more energetic, and consistently popular in public opinion polls. He has spent years learning the role from both his father and grandmother. He also represents a modernized, approachable image of the royal family that appeals to many. So, what do you think? Should King Charles consider abdicating the throne due to his current health? Share your opinions in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss